Welcome to Afrik Express. Today we are at the capital of Massachusetts in Boston. We are at the governor's office with the governor himself, His Honorable Deval Patrick.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you for having me, and welcome to the governor's office.
Thank you. Around the country, healthcare has been a big issue.
Yes.
And the cost of health insurance has really skyrocketed all over. And people are going to hospitals, they're not getting services that they need. Some of them don't go at all because they have a fear of the cost. What is your administration doing about this?
Well, it's a very important question, a very important concern, and you're right, it's a problem all over the country. Here in Massachusetts, because of the health reform bill that was passed just before I took office and took effect the day I took office, we have been working on expanding coverage. So we have 97.5% of our residents with health insurance today. No other state in America can touch that. But it's still too expensive, just as you say. And especially for small businesses and for working families whose premiums have gone up at double-digit rates year after year after year. After a couple of years' work with the industry and advocates and policymakers and so on, they came up with unanimous recommendations around something called payment reform, which is essentially would move us away from paying for the amount of health care and paying instead for the quality of that care or the outcomes of that care. But it will take several years to implement that. Meanwhile, we need a solution right now. So I've directed our insurance commissioner to disapprove any unreasonable or excessive rate increases, premium increases, because I look at the cost of medical inflation here, which is about 5% in this high-cost region, but 24, 33, 45% increases in premiums are not unusual, and that's got to stop. So we have been in a bit of a tug-of-war with the insurance industry over that. But increasingly, because they see that we are determined, we are not going away, and we mean it, that there has to be some relief today. We're negotiating solutions. And it really, think of this as a bridge to payment reform. Not a final solution, but a bridge to payment reform, and bring some relief right now.
Right. So part of your negotiation is to help out small businesses.
Exactly. To keep these increases to single digits, not double digits. And in the case of one insurer, they had proposed, 20 or 30% increases. We negotiated a 7.7% blended rate. That's a big, big difference. And we're looking for that kind of outcome with other insurers right now as well.
Talk about small businesses.
Yes.
There are a lot of small businesses in the state of Massachusetts.
That's right.
Also, especially within the African community, who do not know how to find funding to expand their businesses. And them getting funding means also employing people, considering the high rate of unemployment at this point. So do you have any plan as to how to help out these small businesses?
A couple of ideas. First of all, you're exactly right about what are the pressing issues here in the Commonwealth. Small businesses are 85% of the businesses in this Commonwealth, overwhelmingly. It's not just true in the African community, it's true across the whole of our economy. And if they don't hire, if they don't get back to business, then we don't get a recovery. It's as simple as that. And the two issues that small businesses bring up are healthcare costs, which we just covered, and access to capital, which is your second question. And when I talk to the small and community banks about that, and why it is what companies used to be able to get with a phone call now takes a mountain of paper before they're turned down even. They say, well, they're ready to lend, they have the capital. They're just a little more nervous about it because the economy is so fragile. And so what we have done is file a bill to create something called a growth capital fund, to use some existing resources in state government to do loan guarantees and other kinds of last resort funding. So essentially, if a bank says, look, we'd like to do it, but we're not quite comfortable making that loan, and the state would come in and say, look, we're going to guarantee that loan. You go on and make it in the private sector, that private bank to that small business, you make it, but we will guarantee that it gets paid. And with a little bit of analysis and working with that small business, because we know those small businesses need to thrive for our economy to thrive, that's a way that we think we can help. It's passed out of one body of the legislature. It's moving through the House right now. I hope to have this bill on my desk before the end of this month.
Okay. The Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia earlier this year announced that Massachusetts' economy has performed better than 48% of the 50 states. What do you think happened? What attributed to this?
Well, it's actually 48 of the 50 states. So it's great news, and that's been true since the end of 2009. And the reasons they cite are that the innovation industries, those industries that we've really placed a lot of emphasis on, and that where we have a special strength here in the Commonwealth, are leading us out of this recession faster and stronger than the rest of the country. So it's the information technology sector, the new IT, robotics and video game developing, telecommunications, life sciences and biotech is another one. Clean and alternative energy, including energy efficiency. These are areas where, because of our concentration of brain power, the high level of education in the workforce, the abundance of venture capital here in the Commonwealth, and our tradition of innovation that goes back hundreds of years, these are areas where we have a special strength here in the Commonwealth. And what we've been trying to do is cultivate those industries, encourage them, and spread those opportunities out to all corners of the Commonwealth, every community in the Commonwealth, and it's making a difference. It's a long-term strategy. It's not about turning around on a dime. But it creates a much stronger economic foundation and opportunity foundation, I think, going out for a generation. We want to stay on that path.